you have belated Thanksgiving at home, or just have the schedule for leftovers?
No, we got back in time. I want to say we got, I don't know what time, 6 o'clock, 6:30. So we had a nice little family dinner and had a couple friends over, and it was good.
With Stokes coming back today, do you take anything from the last time that he came back, or is that just kind of a, bleep happens kind of thing, and you kind of just proceed as you normally would with the player?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be crazy not to ignore any of the past. But I think it's, hopefully, I know he's feeling really confident right now and feeling really good. Otherwise, we wouldn't have taken him off. And so it's great to have him out there. The guy is, even throughout all this, he's maintained a great attitude, and he's a great teammate. And so it's great to have him back out there.
Roster spots now open. Is Savage close to filling one?
Potentially, yeah. That's the goal. That's the hope. But I think we were hopeful that he potentially was going to be back last week, and he wasn't. So we'll kind of take it in stride and go through the week and see where he's at.
With a guy like Savage, it seemed like when we would see him out there, he was really involved and trying to keep the guys up. Is that normal for a guy on IR, or did he kind of go a little bit above and beyond?
I think he has. I think he has gone above and beyond. And I think he's really matured, not as a football player and as a man. And his leadership has really shown through this year. I think he is one of the main leaders, not only especially in the DB room, but also on our football team. And he's had a great attitude all throughout the course of the offseason into this year, and it would certainly be nice to get him back.
And as some of these guys start to come back, what's the push and pull between continuity and what you've been doing with some of the guys who've been playing versus returning some established veterans?
Yeah, I think that's always something that you got to take into consideration. Know that it's a competitive situation, and obviously you're going to try to put the people out there that are going to help you win, and give you the best chance at winning. Although what's been great about this whole deal is we've had to play some younger guys or guys that maybe haven't gotten as much opportunity, and they've done a really nice job. So that always makes it more of a challenge, I would say, when you're making those decisions.
When you turn the film on after the Thanksgiving meal, how different does your offense look on film to a month ago?
Yeah, I think we're definitely operating at a much higher level. Jordan's doing a really nice job. I think the guys around him are helping that situation as well. Certainly the guys up front are doing a really good job in pass protection. And then, when you have Christian Watson out there going up for balls and making plays on the ball, and, guys like Malik Heath making some contested catches, it certainly is going to help your quarterback function at a higher level. And I just think the mindset's a little bit different. I think we as coaches have a much better idea of what these guys are capable of doing, and trying to really put them in position for success. But ultimately, they have to go out there and execute, and that's what our guys have been doing. But we also know you're only as good as your last game, and we got one of the best defenses in the league coming in here on Sunday Night Football. So it's going to be a great challenge for our guys. Haven't gone. A couple years ago, we went against the Chiefs at their place, and I mean they really shut us down, our offense down, and they do a really good job, apply a lot of pressure. They're a very physical unit and just very aggressive.
What was that process like as a coaching staff for you to that journey of figuring out what your young guys did well and how to put them in the right places? You have to do things that maybe you've never done before and really research what they can do.
Yeah, I think it's just a process, and sometimes you figure it out a little bit earlier than others, and other times you got to bank the reps, and you got to see what these guys are doing out of practice, and then that gives you the confidence to go out and call things in a game, and then you see how people react in game. So I would just say it's just part of the growth process that that you have to go through, especially when you have so much youth at the skill positions, whether it's the tight end or the receiver room, and you kind of just have to go through it.
What do you think has changed from, early in the season, Hutchinson caused you all kinds of problems here. Max Crosby, destroyed you in Las Vegas. And now you face, Watt, Aaron Donald, Hutchinson again, and pretty much have handled that. Like your pass sack percentage numbers are pretty good. What do you think's been the difference?
I just think these guys have more time on task and have, played more ball. I think they're, you would hope that throughout the course of the season that you gradually are getting better and are improving as the more you play. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing happening with the guys up front, with Jordan, the other skill positions. It was great. I thought the backs did a really nice job in pass protection the other day, whether it was AJ or Patrick Taylor going in there and, stepping up, owning their responsibilities. And then Jordan's feel in the pocket, because there were a couple times where typically I would say a check down, you want to get to it, your check down's on the second hitch. But there were a couple of instances where Detroit did have a very good rush and he could feel the pass rush on him, and where he got immediately to the check down on one hitch. And, that saves a hit on the quarterback, and we were getting positive plays. And I thought he did a nice job of moving in the pocket, kind of manipulating the pocket and finding his check downs. And, that allows you to stay in front of the chain, stay ahead of the sticks, so you're not in those get back on track situations, or you're not in those really in third and long situations where it can be a big time challenge.
Does it kind of change the way you start calling the plays then? After that, do you start to gain a little more confidence in what you can block and what you can't?
100%. Yeah, especially when you have a quarterback that's getting the ball out of his hands. You can dial up some of those maybe mid to deeper plays that take a little bit longer to develop, trusting the fact that if it's not perfect, if we don't block it perfect, or if someone loses a block, that he's going to get the ball out. And so that definitely gives you confidence as a play caller.
Still in the concussion protocol?
No.
Back to the O-line, since you have been protecting well, so are you going to continue with the juggling of left tackle and right guard, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, I think every week it could be a little bit different. I think, all those guys have gone in there and have done a really nice job, so it's going to be a competitive situation.
What do you like about how Ryan has played? I know he hasn't had a ton of snaps, but
I just think he's done his job. He's a big guy that when he goes in there, he's tough to move off the spot. And he's done a nice job in both the run game and the pass game. And so it's been very encouraging for what he's been able to accomplish.
You are short at running back. Is that a sign that maybe Aaron Jones could be back this week?
Oh, we'll see. Yeah, I think we're way a long way from that coming to fruition.
Back to Jordan's pocket manipulation, just seems like the last couple of weeks he's been more comfortable kind of holding onto the ball and letting guys get open, develop routes down the field. How does a young quarterback kind of get that knack for feeling the rush like he's been?
I think it's all experience. It's reps. It's time on task, because that is something that it truly is. That's probably the most difficult thing to kind of talk through and coach. It's just some guys have better feel than others. It is what it is. But I do think, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but when I watch him out there, just his whole demeanor looks different, much more confident, much more in command. He let a couple balls rip, and it's exactly how you want it to look. There was that third down in the second half where he hit Jaden Reed over the middle. I want to say it was our first possession in the second half, and just that's exactly how it needs to look. And he's done a really good job. I think he's right now he's playing his best ball.
When did that click in for him? What was it in practice? Was it play in the game that you noticed? Okay, he's had enough experience, time on task, that it looks different now.
It's hard to pinpoint because I think there's been glimpses throughout the entire season. It's just how consistent does it show up? And I just think he's been playing more consistent. I think it's also, like I mentioned earlier, it's a byproduct of the guys around him that are playing better as well. So it all goes hand in hand, and certainly when everybody's playing at the best that they can play, you're going to be better no matter what position you play.
Matt, this is probably a dumb question because
No such thing as a dumb
no,
question.
just actually my
Unless it's a dumb question.
because when we view games obviously way differently than you do, but going back to that Kansas City game a couple of years ago, when you walk off the field, what are you thinking of Jordan? Are you questioning what he's got? I guess what are you thinking back 2 years ago?
I think I've been on record saying this. I was more disappointed with myself and our staff than with any of our players in that game. Just we knew that it was one of those deals where we came in. I think on Wednesday morning we found out that Aaron was going to be out and Jordan was going to be in, and we should have, instead of just riding with what we game planned, we should have, I don't want to say started over, but we should have had a better plan in place for some of the potential issues that were going to come up that absolutely came up in that game. And I didn't like the answers that we had for him personally. So I put that on us. I'm sure there's some things he could have done better, but there was a lot of things that I felt like were out of his control.
Last one. Without giving away this week's game plan, we've heard you say before that you didn't have a good plan for him in that game. Why was that? What about the plan do you not think was good?
Well, we knew that there was going to be a lot of zero pressure. And the way they do it, typically they get everybody up in there, and you don't have a whole lot of time to hold on to that ball. And just some of the things that we saw on tape that where we thought we might be able to exploit it and get the ball out and make some big plays, it didn't happen. So, I was disappointed with myself.
Real quick, I didn't get a chance to ask you last week. Is there a feeling that you will get Musgrave back this year? Do you know that yet?
We don't know that. Certainly we're hopeful for that, but we do know that he'll be out for sure the next 3 weeks, and then we'll see kind of where we're at after that. But if it's up to Luke, he'll be back. It's just whether or not he's fully healed. And this guy he is as tough as they come now. I've not been around many guys that are just that will compete at the level that he competes and not being always fully functional in terms of, or not being 100%, I should say. And you saw it just, I referenced the Denver game earlier this year, his ability to come back and after a week, which blew my mind because I thought there's no way he's playing in whoever we played after that. But I thought there was no chance he was going to play in that game, and he did. So I think that just speaks to his competitiveness and the desire he has to be out there on the football field.